Hey guys, so I didn't watch anybody else's best and worst movies of 2018 lists because I wanted to make my own and I didn't want to be biased. And say you watch my list and you happen to disagree, well...
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
So, I was gonna make a top 10 best movies of 2018 list, and then I found myself like trying to justify the last few, and I really didn't feel like those movies were like the best. So I was gonna make a top 5. But then there is a movie that I wanted to put on the list, so these are my top 6. Christopher Robin. When I was going to see this, I wasn't really expecting a lot. I just saw the preview and I was like, oh, that looks really cute. So when I saw it, it's actually such a beautiful, fun movie. And I find that a lot of kids' movies nowadays rely on really stupid humor, like, they tripped on a banana and they fell down the stairs. Oh, that's so funny. No, but this movie, I felt like the humor was nice and I think kids could understand it, but it wasn't just outright dumb. The filming locations were absolutely gorgeous. I don't know where they filmed these, but the forests and the landscapes were beautiful. It makes me want to like go there and just explore the entire thing. I grew up watching Winnie the Pooh. There's literally a picture of me when I was 2 years old holding a Winnie the Pooh VCR tape. And they created all of those characters as stuffed animals. And it looks really realistic. I think the CGI is great. And even though it's not a cartoon and it's CGI, I still had that nostalgic feeling. And I think people, even like little kids, will get that fun feeling even if they haven't seen the original cartoons. I really liked Ewan McGregor's performance. I think he really committed to the character and he was so fun to watch, honestly. I thought it was a perfect balance of Christopher Robin's adult life and reminiscing of his childhood. I thought they were perfectly mixed together and I love this movie. I think it's perfect for kids and adults. It's a perfect family film and I highly recommend it. Deadpool 2. Speaking of family films, I'm just kidding, don't watch this with your family. Oh man, was this movie so much fun to watch in the theater. Like, I don't think I've laughed that much at a movie in a long time. It was just such great dialogue and I love pop culture references and the movie is filled with them. And Ryan Reynolds, he is such a natural talent. I love him so much. He is literally perfect casting for this role. And I don't really want to get into the story because I feel like if I say anything, it's just gonna spoil the fun out of it. Just watch it. It's so good. It's so funny and it just puts you in such a great mood. Isle of Dogs. This is probably the best stop-motion animation that I have ever seen in a movie. It's just, the attention to detail is incredible and the use of light. I can't imagine how much planning went into this movie. And I've never thought about it before, but Wes Anderson's movies are very similar to Japanese movies where everything is so precise and the camera movements are very precise and very symmetrical. And there are parts of the movie where this Japanese boy is talking to the dogs and the dogs speak English and they don't translate the boy. So it's almost as if we're the dogs trying to understand what the boy's saying, and we can because of his tone. And it's like when we speak to dogs and the dogs know what we are saying because of our tone. They don't know exactly what we're saying because obviously dogs don't speak English, but I thought That was brilliant. I also love the title, Isle of Dogs. I love dogs. Like, Wes Anderson, you're great. I think this is definitely hands down Wes Anderson's best animated movie, and it might be even be his best movie of his career. A Star is Born. First thing I need to talk about is Bradley Cooper's performance. I thought it was the best performance of his career. He completely transformed himself. He changed his speaking voice, and he learned how to become a good singer. His singing is great in this movie, and he also did so well portraying a depressed alcoholic. I believed every single moment. There's a moment towards the end, and I'm not gonna spoil it because Bradley Cooper's character decides to do something, and it's very difficult for him to do. And he has a look, and it just goes right to your soul. It's so powerful. And that was when I started to cry. And then I just continued towards the end because the ending really gets you. And it's the same ending as the other A Star is Born movie, so I knew what was coming, but it still got me. And I think for a remake to be that emotionally powerful, it was very, very good. Okay, so I'm gonna admit something. I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan. I've been a fan of hers ever since she first made it big, like back in 2008. So with this movie, I was like, oh, it's another singer turned actress. But I think that Lady Gaga is different from those people because she really gave it her all in this movie. I think she really trained. I can tell that she took acting classes. However, she's not perfect. I wouldn't say she's Oscar worthy, but I do think that she did an excellent job in this role. Of course, her voice is fantastic. I listen to Shallow very often because the emotion in her voice gives me chills. And of course, the ending song is absolutely beautiful. And I do think that she deserves to be up there with Barbra Streisand and Judy Garland. I think she is that much of a talent. The movie had beautiful cinematography, and I saw this in Dolby, and so whenever there were rock concerts, I felt like I was at a rock concert. The only thing that I would say that is negative about the movie, which is why it's not like my top favorite, the beginning isn't very strong. It's not the beginning with Bradley Cooper, but I felt like the beginning of Lady Gaga's story could have used some work, but it's such a small thing. I love this movie so much. It deserves to be in the top 3. Green Book. Just like A Star is Born, the number one reason you need to see this movie is for Viggo Mortensen. He is probably the most versatile, talented actor that we have in this day and age. I think he is like the modern day Marlon Brando. He completely transforms himself. He plays Tony Lip, who is this Italian-American man in the 1960s, and his accent is like perfect. There was never one slip up in the entire movie. And he's just so jolly and lovable in the role. And you're just so enthralled for every second that he's on the screen. So Tony Lip is hired by Mahershala Ali's character, who is a black jazz musician, and he wants Tony to be his bodyguard while he plays concerts in the Deep South. And their road trip is, you know, the best part of the movie. Their banters back and forth are just comedy gold. It's just, they play so perfectly off of each other because Mahershala Ali's character, he's very like reserved and proper, and Viggo Mortensen's just like eating fried chicken in the car, and he threw his like the chicken wing out the window, and Mahershala Ali makes him pick it up because he's that prim and proper, and Viggo Mortensen's always like making jokes, and they're just so opposites, and it's just perfect comedy. And I was laughing throughout. And what I really loved about this movie was, despite it being about racism in the 1960s, I think literally anybody of any race could enjoy this film. I remember being in the theater and there was an older black couple sitting right next to me, and they were laughing just as much as I was, and not even just laughing, even when in the emotional parts we're both like, oh man, we both felt for both of the characters, no matter what color they were, Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali. And I think that is great filmmaking if you can touch not just a specific demographic, but literally to everybody. So my number one movie of 2018 is Roma. Y'all, this movie is without a doubt the most beautifully shot movie that I have ever seen in my life. I think this needs to be taught in film school about what outstanding cinematography is. Like, oh my god, it's beautiful. It's shot in black and white, and I could tell that everything was placed so specifically, and literally every single frame, and I'm not even exaggerating, every single frame could be a still photograph in a high-end magazine because of how beautiful it is. And even there are camera movements, there are a lot of pan shots that are so perfectly timed with the actors' movements. It made it seem so flawless. And I can't believe Alfonso Cuarón directed this movie, wrote this movie, and he photographed this movie. Did all three. What? It is incredible. It is such an incredible film. I like the screenplay. I think a lot of people who are average moviegoers might say that it's slow at the beginning, but I think honestly it's necessary to tell the story, and that's what gives it the big emotional impact at the end. Oh, let me talk about the ending for a second, because it's something that I kind of saw coming, not because I thought the film was predictable, but because there are a lot of hints of foreshadowing throughout, like really smart uses of foreshadowing, so I kind of knew what was coming. But even knowing that, when a certain event happens, I burst into tears, because, excuse you, it's kind of literally my worst nightmare, but everything felt so realistic. The actors were so natural and excellent that it didn't feel like I was watching a movie. It felt like I was watching someone's life pan out before my eyes. It felt like a very well-made documentary almost. There was not one point where I felt like oh, this is acting, this is a movie. Everything felt so real. This is Alfonso Cuarón's best work. And I think he's one of the best filmmakers out there today. He is extremely talented, and you guys need to watch this. If you are a film fanatic, you need to watch this movie. It is absolutely amazing. Alright guys, that was my top 6 movies of 2018. And I can hear you Marvel fanatics now. Infinity War wasn't on your list? That's bull. Unsubscribing. Okay, calm down. I did see Infinity War, and I liked it. However, I just don't think it's one of the best movies of the year. It's okay, guys. You can have it on your list, but as I said in the beginning, my opinion may be different. I am gonna go see Endgame though, so I'm excited for that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. I know I'm not the most articulate person. I kind of had a hard time with that. But I hope you check out these movies. They really hold a good place in my heart. So I also was gonna tag on my worst movies, but this video ran a little long, so I'm not gonna be able to do that. So that's gonna be a separate video. So there's gonna be one more video of 2018. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see y'all later. Bye!